And we're live here on YouTube. I'd like to welcome those listening in podcast land, and also my buddy Rich. Rich, how you doing today?
Doing good, Mike. So, not too bad of a week. Performance reviews are getting due, so trying to wrap up all those to get that turned in for the year.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to talk about yourself at times of what you're able to accomplish, but just about done, so I can go back to my normal routine hopefully next week. And it's been nice. Weather's starting to get a little cooler too. So we had a little bit of I would say like the false fall, as it's been in the mid to high 80s here and there, but hopefully we get true fall here coming up soon.
Yeah, we have a Okoboji cross-country team has a race on Monday, and they're talking about not doing it because it's going to be over 90. It could be over 90. So, or is it?
So would they just reschedule it?
I think they just cancel it. Either way, yeah, it's been homecoming week up here. It's been crazy busy.
Did any of your esport guys make it on to the homecoming court?
Nope.
No? Okay. It was just a question, though. Just a question.
No.
You never know.
So, okay, Rich. We got a pretty decent show. We got a bunch of baseball to talk about as we have wrapping up the season, heading into the postseason. We're going to talk about that. We also have, football to talk about. What else we got, Rich?
Well, Mike, we're going to be talking NASCAR. And that pretty much wraps up our outline this week.
There's always that random.
Yeah. I know you'll come up with some random thing to fill time.
I tried to put them in the outline at least.
I know you did to get us into the 1 hour mark, since we will not be doing power rankings this week.
Yeah, I was busy. I couldn't do it this week. Sorry.
That's okay. All that and more, Mike. But what do we got to do first?
We got to go ahead and roll that intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.
And we're back. Okay, Rich. This week we have a poll question. Poll question is pumpkin patch versus corn mazes. I voted for the pumpkin patch. Rich, what did you vote for?
I went with the pumpkin patch as well. I think I've done more. I've gone out into the pumpkin patches more often than I've done a corn maze.
Yeah, I think people don't like getting lost, so nobody voted for corn maze. I voted for pumpkin patch. Your mom voted for pumpkin patch, and you voted for pumpkin patch. With that, pumpkin patch moves on. Nobody wanted to vote for corn maze because nobody wants to get lost. Rich, poll question this week: what is it, and when's it going live, and where can people find it?
Yeah, it'll probably be live once we get done recording. We're going to go with Bonfires as our number 2 seed going up against the number 7 seed Hayrack Rise.
Yeah. Did we have Friday Night Lights up there?
We called that as tailgating.
Okay.
Not attending a football game.
Yeah.
So we tried to stay out of the sports realm, I think. It was things that you did around if we listed it. So Bonfires, Hayrack Rise. Mike, do you see what's coming up next?
Is it a left turn, Rich?
It is a left-hand turn, Mike. And what's after that?
Is it another left-hand turn?
Yes, it is, and tell them why.
Because we're heading into the NASCAR corner, presented as always by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all your sports memorabilia needs on 5th Avenue or on their eBay store. Once again, that is Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Rich, last week they were in New Hampshire for the Mobile One 301. Your winner was Ryan Blaney. Tell the folks how my picks did.
All right, Mike, your pick of Denny Hamlin came in 12th. which was lower than my playoff driver pick of Joey Logano, who came in 4th. Mike, how did our non-playoff drivers?
Non-playoff drivers were real close to each other. Cole Custard finished 24th. Not doing too great. It's okay. Brad Keselowski didn't do too great either, as he finished 1 spot ahead at 23rd. Rich, that gives you 2 points this week. Means you are at 18-16. You are up. With that, you get honors for the Hollywood Casino 400. Now, before we get into the Hollywood Casino 400, let's talk about one of the big controversies of the race in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, those two got into it, with Denny Hamlin being frustrated that he would not give up position on the track, with Ty not being a playoff driver and Denny being a playoff driver, thinking that he had raced them. They were racing hard, was not going to give up position. And that's something that's always that I've sort of like scratched my head on, with Denny being a dual owner of one team but driving for another team. Like, if he was coming up on Ty Gibbs or not Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick or Bubba Wallace, would he have these same issues, saying that, why didn't you let me through?
Yeah, I think he would.
Wrecking him.
I think I think he would. Now,
if the shoe were on the other foot, him complaining, saying that he's a playoff driver and he should have given up the position.
Yep.
If the shoe was on the other foot, to where Ty Gibbs was the one in the playoff position, would Denny Hamlin be racing hard and not yielding the playoff position to a teammate or a subordinate, being him in an ownership position? Would he yield the position to somebody else? And to me, I don't think that he would. I think that he would be the same as Ty Gibbs in that position and racing hard.
I would argue that it depends on who the driver is. If the driver is a teammate, maybe. If it's a teammate, that's one thing. If it's a competitor, no. But teammates, completely different story.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, if it's a teammate, yes. Otherwise, no. That's how I think.
Gotcha. So the coach, Joe Gibbs, had some words with him at post-race, saying that, we got to be good teammates. We're all on the same team here. Thinking that Denny was in the wrong for wrecking out a teammate over, or what made it look like an intentional wreck.
It was. No, he's all but admitted it, because if he admits it, NASCAR fines him and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I think it's much ado about nothing. There's not much yes, but no. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, so Mike, playoff standing updates. Mike, your number one player in the playoff standings is Ryan Blaney. My preseason pick to win, William Byron, is currently in the number 2 spot. Mike, your pick to win it all at the beginning of the year, Christopher Bell, is in the number 4 spot. Your favorite driver, Denny Hamlin, is in the number 5 spot. My favorite driver of Ross Chastain is below the cut line currently and is in the number 9 hole. Joining Ross Chastain under the cut line with 2 races to go in this round is Austin Cindric, Tyler Reddick, and his teammate at 2311, Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
Any surprises there that are below the cut line?
I mean, I will point out, and you know this, but the fans don't, and it's okay. I'll pull back the curtain. When we were picking our drivers, there were 2 drivers I thought got cut earlier, and they didn't. So, Bubba making it into the second round, he's not going to make it out of the second round. That's sad, but it's what happens. And then Bubba's not going to make it out, and then who is the other one that I?
You tried picking Joey Logano as a non-playoff.
And Joey Logano, both of those guys, like I'm shocked that they are in the second round, and then the fact that they are doing that, they're in the bottom of the cut line. That does not surprise me. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. I guess one person like above the cut line that I'm surprised. Actually, you know what? Above the cut line, there are no surprises for me. And but I mean, Austin Cindric and Tyler Reddick with the Bank of America Roval coming up as the cutoff race before the next round. I could see one of those guys leapfrogging and playing the stage points game, or even going for the race win to be a way to get into the next round of the playoffs for them, because they're both pretty good on road courses. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if I see Bubba Wallace moving on to the next round, because I mean, although he has won Kansas in the past, so it wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me, but I don't. It's going to take him having a strong qualifying run to get at the top of the grid and then staying there, because he obviously can't chase with him as far back in the points as he is for the cut line. He can't chase stage points to bank them to go into the next round either. So Mike, going with the Hollywood Casino 400 with both of my drivers finishing higher than yours last week. I have the honors for both of them, and I'm going to go with the Hendrick Motorsports garage for both of my picks. As I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. Although I was tempted to pick Kyle Larson, but I had picked him recently, so I'm going to pivot to Chase Elliott, and I'll go with his teammate Alex Bowman for as my non-playoff driver. Both have a good track history here at Kansas. And Hendrick is due to turn things around and get some high finishes. Mike, who are you going to go with?
Rich, because I can't go with guys that are... I'm going to go with Kyle Larson because you didn't pick him. But then my second driver, because I can't pick guys that are still in the playoffs as a non-playoff driver, I guess I'll pick Austin Dillon. Okay. Oh, and you did take Alex Bowman, who I wanted.
Okay, so we're all going in the Chevy camp for drivers this week. So you can catch that over on the USA Network. I believe it's a 2:00 start time at the Kansas Speedway in Kansas City, Kansas. Mike, let's keep making left-hand turns and turn our attention to the baseball world. Mike, this week the Cubs from the 20th through the 26th had 2 games at Cincinnati, 3 games at home against the Mets, and a Friday afternoon game with the Cardinals. Mike, how'd they do in those games?
So, Rich, they lost 2 against Cincinnati, won 1 and lost 2 against the Mets, and have won 1 against the Cardinals, making them 2-4 on the week.
Yep, Mike, you said they'd win 4 games. I went with 3. Neither of us were right. But I mean, those Reds are red hot, as they've snuck into the wild card race with the Mets stumbling, and the Diamondbacks of all teams are also into the playoffs after selling so many players at the trade deadline. But the Cardinals are going nowhere. They've officially been eliminated. So we have them for 2 more games to close out the regular season before the playoffs start. But before we talk playoff baseball, 2 games against the Cardinals at home. How many wins are they going to get this week, Mike, to close out the regular season?
So they're going to get 2 to close out the regular season.
Okay.
Then we will play 3 games against the Padres at this point. I think is locked in.
It is the Padres.
We just don't know if it's in San Diego or if it's in Chicago.
That is correct. So, Mike, I'm going to give them 1 game, because if Sunday doesn't mean anything, you could see a lot of regulars getting playing partial games and kind of being treated almost like a spring training game of let's get some guys some at-bats and then get them out of the game. Or you could see a lot of bench guys like Justin Turner. You could see our big heavy hitters that have been playing a lot of playing time, like Happ and PCA and Swanson, and maybe probably Horner getting some bench time to get some rest before that Tuesday series. And I don't see him throwing out a viable starting pitcher that could be used on that postseason roster. So I could see Sunday being a throwaway game and kind of treat it as a rest game, or a way that you're going to start the game, but you're not going to finish the game. We're going to give you some rest, and you're going to.
Yeah, I can buy that.
So that's why I'm only giving one game. So Mike, we don't know who's going to have home field advantage right now, because the Cubs have to either win one of their next two games or hope that San Diego loses one of their two games with their series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, where they're also playing at home. But I believe with the Cubs having a two-game advantage, the Cubs would have to lose the next two games. San Diego wins both of their games to secure it. To secure that home field advantage in the wild card game. So Mike, we're kind of flying blind here in making this prediction, as we know the Cubs play better at home than they do on the road.
Yeah.
And
I think they pull it off. They win 4 games overall this week. They win 2 against the Padres at some point. I actually think they go all 3 games, but I think the Cubs win the series.
Okay, I'm going to go with going the distance in 3 games as well. So I'm going to have them win the series 2-1 against the Friars before they go and play. Unless I'm incorrect, the way the bracket is set up, they don't reseed the playoffs based on the higher seed winning in this wild card round. So we go to Milwaukee if we win the series, but that's for next week.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We'll talk round 2 of the playoffs, or be recapping the Cubs season next week. So Mike, talking about the postseason, it starts Tuesday, September 30th. I'm hoping that they have home field advantage, because if the games are in Chicago, I think that's a good. Do you think they would give the Cubs the daytime time slot, or would they play in that the Cubs are a good TV draw and put them on more of a late afternoon to evening time slot?
I actually think it depends. If they're home, I think the Cubs get the day games.
Well, if they're on the road, they're probably not going to get the day game slot, as you wouldn't want to put wouldn't want to have a 1:20.
If they're at home, they
start.
They 100% get the day games. I think that's, yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. So obviously, I know what I'll be doing for my work schedule if it's a 1:20 start time. So I would definitely be going in at 5 in the morning, so that I can 5:30, so that I can clock out early and come home and watch the ball game, because it won't be behind the iron curtain of Marquee Network, the subscription of Marquee Network.
Nope, totally agree. I mean, I won't. I'm sorry. I won't leave work, but I'll listen to it at work.
Well, you got TVs in your office, though. You could put it on the TV, couldn't you?
Probably. Depends on how. If my boss is good with it, but he normally is pretty good.
Okay, so the entire playoff picture, Mike, we got to review our pre-postseason picks, even though a lot of the divisions are still kind of up in the air, and playoff position, for that matter, are up in the air, but we will treat our predictions and go off of the standings as they currently lie. So, Mike, if you want to bring up the standings, I'll give you our picks.
Okay.
So we will start with the American League, Mike. We both picked the New York Yankees to win the East.
So the Yankees are tied with the Blue Jays right now at 92 games, 92 wins and 68 losses. So they are tied.
All right, for context, neither of us put the Blue Jays into the playoffs. Both teams are going to make the playoffs. It's whether between the Jays and the Yankees, one of them's getting a bye and does not have to play in that 3-game wild.
How about the only team to have clinched a division in the American League is the Mariners? Let's go down to the West.
Yeah, the West, we both picked the Texas Rangers. Neither of us put the Seattle Mariners into the playoffs.
Yeah, how about the Mariners are the only team to guarantee that they're the division winner right now? Like, the Yankees or the Jays could take that division. The Tigers and the Guardians are Central. Who did we say, Rich?
The Central, I went with the Cleveland Guardians. You said the Kansas City Royals.
Royals are sitting at 500 in third place. You said the Guardians are tied with Detroit. One of those teams will make the playoffs.
Okay, so wild card, Mike.
And actually,
with the season ending today, who is in position? Who are the 3 teams that would be the wild cards in the American League?
So if it ends today, Yankees, Tigers, and Reds. Or Red Sox. Sorry, Red Sox.
Thank you. Okay. So the wild cards that we went with, Mike, you went with the Minnesota Twins, the Houston Astros. I'm sorry, the Houston Asterixes, as you like to call them, and the Detroit Tigers. I went with the Tigers, the Red Sox, and the Royals.
Well, right now it's going to be the Red Sox and Yankees technically are the wild card because the Blue Jays, if they end in a tie, apparently the tiebreakers go to the Blue Jays. So it'd be the Yankees and the Red Sox, and currently the Tigers. But if the Tigers lose out and the Astros win, the Astros get in.
Okay, so the Astros need a little bit of help. Obviously, the Twins and the Royals are out of the playoff mix.
Yep.
So, Mike, going over to the National League. The National League Central, we've talked about it extensively. We both picked the Cubs. Didn't happen as the Brewers just got hot at the same time that the Cubs were playing good baseball, but
not great baseball.
They were winning series. They were winning series or splitting series instead of decisively winning series.
Sweeping,
no. Yeah, they weren't sweeping series. There was a lot of losing series or going 500 in series while the Brewers just got hot. So we know the Brewers won that division. Both of us picked Cubs. Mike, what does the NL West look like as we both picked the Dodgers?
And the Dodgers did win the NL West, and so they are in first place. And what were our predictions for the East, Rich?
You went with the Atlanta Braves. I went with the Phillies.
Phillies are in first, and they have clinched a division. And the Braves are in, the Braves are in not the basement, but they're on their way down there.
They've been eliminated. They were eliminated. So, Mike, our wild card teams, we both put the Mets in the playoffs. We both put the Brewers in the playoffs.
Can I point out that the Cubs have won 90 games? No other team that won 90 games did not win their division. Now, the Yankees or the Blue Jays, whichever one of them, so there's only 2 teams. Sorry, there's 2 teams this year that have won 90 games and will not win their division.
Yeah, the Yankees or Blue Jays. Maybe the Red Sox. If the Red Sox win their last 2 games, they would have 90 wins and would be in that wild card game. But yeah, the Central, there's no chance either of the neither Cleveland or Detroit can win 90 games, and Seattle is sitting right at 90.
But Seattle won 90 games, and they won their division.
They do.
Like, that's the hard part.
Yeah. I mean, at least we know that if division races didn't matter, and they went with the teams that had the two best records getting a bye.
Yeah.
At least we know, regardless of what happens over these next two games, the Cubs probably would not be in a position for that bye, which for a long time they were.
Yeah.
Because of how well they were playing, even amongst the Brewers going on a really wild winning streak. So, Mike, the wild card teams, we both said that the Mets would make the wild card. So the Brewers, we both had the Brewers as a wild card. We know that they're in as a division winner. Mike, you gave the Phillies a wild card, but they're going to get in as a division winner. Mike, how are the Mets and the Diamondbacks doing in the playoff standings? As we both put the Mets in as a wild card, and I went with the Diamondbacks.
So the Mets could make the playoffs. They could make that. It looks like so it's between them and the Reds right now. And so, yeah. And then the Diamondbacks, they have to win out, and both the Reds and the Mets have to lose out, and I still don't know who has the tiebreaker in that one.
Okay. So, Mike, with so much undecided here, especially on the American League side of the bracket, we are not going to give a pre-postseason prediction for the League Championship Series. We're just going to skip right ahead to the World Series. Beginning of the year, we kind of prefaces it as, all right, who are the Dodgers going to beat in the World Series? Because of all the talent on paper that team had, to where we both went with the Dodgers over the Yankees. Mike, knowing that a lot of the American League is unsettled or undecided yet, so we don't know how the bracket's going to go.
Yeah.
What's your feelings on a pre-postseason World Series prediction?
I'm changing it because I want to change it, and I want it to be different than what it was. I also think that the Brewers are the hottest team in baseball right now, and Seattle looks like they've come alive here in the last part of the season. So I think it's going to be Seattle and Milwaukee in the playoffs. Now, does that mean I would be what do I think would actually happen? Probably going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers, like everybody doesn't want. So.
Okay. I'm going to be changing mine as well because I also don't want to see a Dodgers-Yankees World Series rematch. And I'm going to go with the Fightin' Phils over the Guardians. The Phillies are still I think the Phillies have. I'm comfortable saying that they have the right mix of pitching and offense to get them far into the playoffs. And Cleveland's really hot right now, coming back from 15 and a half games back in the division to run down the Tigers and get really close into. At least they're making the playoffs. It's just whether they're going to get the bye. It's whether they get who they're going to be facing in the playoffs in that wild card game. Whether they have to go on the road for it or whether they're coming home playing the game in Cleveland. But I really like the Phils. If anything, you get the cheer for Kyle Schwarber throughout the postseason if the Phillies go far.
I can get behind that. I can say that's pretty cool.
All right, Mike. So baseball stories that you put in here. Clayton Kershaw announcing that he's going to retire. This is a great pitcher. Obviously, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, even regardless of who's on the ballot with him during his first year. I'm not. I'm almost kind of surprised that this announcement came out before the postseason started. I would have thought it would have been one of those things that he waited to announce if they've made it far enough into the World Series. But at the same time, I think I'm glad that he made it now to where maybe you have that rallying cry of let's send him out a winner instead of him announcing like at a press conference after they've lost a big playoff series that this was it for me.
You know what? I think it's fine either way. I think I'm glad. Like I'm shy. This is the way I would want to do it if I was gonna like. I'm not gonna. I liked it that he didn't tell everybody super early, and then then all of a sudden now we all have to deal with it. You know. Like
so you didn't have like the whole retirement ceremony at every single ballpark like Rivera and like Mariano Rivera was one example.
Yeah.
I think Jeter even got a couple of those types.
Jeter got a rocking chair in Chicago. I was there for it. Great, awesome. It's just one of those things that I'm like, man, like I can understand both sides. I totally get, hey, let's do it. Let's make it happen. But I also get, you know, why not wait to the last part of the season? You get a little bit of the fun of, hey, here's this, here's that.
Yeah, and they did have that. I think the announcement was made, I think, could have sworn it was made like prior to his last home start. So after the game, there was video that was shared to Facebook of like him and his family digging up the pitching mound for the rubber that was on the pitching mound during his last start.
Yeah.
So he's still scheduled to start Sunday's game on the road, or they could scratch him. But as talented as that roster is, do you give him a spot? Do you guarantee or give him the ball in one of the in your playoff rotation, or do you go with the three or four best starters on your roster, or do you give him a spot based off his legacy? Because this isn't the Clayton Kershaw of old that was guaranteed to start game one of your playoff series every single week, every single series if the rotation lined up great.
I would say you give him the shortest leash of anybody that anybody's seen in the postseason. You put him on a middle game. You're up two that game. You're up 2 games. Game matters but doesn't matter, if you know what I mean. And you put him out there. And as soon as he starts to drop, you pull him.
I think you go into it with that type of game plan of get us through the order once.
Yeah.
You're going to go through the order once, and then we're going to bring in this starting pitcher to go with to finish out the game, and then go into our bullpen. But I'd make sure that the start is at home to at least give the home fans one last time to see them.
And
whether you know you're going to be advancing into the playoffs or not.
Yeah. I would also argue you want to do it at home. You don't necessarily. So, in that case, it would be like a game 5? No.
The Dodgers are in the wild card round, so they get a 3-game series in LA for the wild card as the division winner, with the division winner being the number 3 seed in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So they get a home playoff game. They get a home series for the wild card round.
I thought they got the yeah, no. So yeah, I guess game 2 at home. You do game 2 at home.
Yeah, I don't think he gets a start in the wild card round because I think there's so much talent on that pitching staff. I don't think he gets a start in the wild card round, but I could see them giving him a start in the division series.
Do you start Shohei, or is his bat too valuable to you?
I think you can start Shohei.
Okay. With that, let's go ahead and move on to the next item that I have on the agenda. Home run hitters. Who knew that this year we'd have 4 guys over 500 and we just named one of them? Shohei Ohtani.
Over 50 home runs.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said 500. That'd be quite a feat if somebody hit 500 home runs in a regular season.
So we have 4 guys over 50. We could have a 5th if Eugenio Suarez hits 1. He'll be right at 50. We have Cal Raleigh hit 60. Kyle Schwarber hit 56. Shohei Ohtani hit 54. And Aaron Judge has hit 52.
Okay.
So a couple of things. 2 of those guys are DHs. So the other 2, though, and this is where my real discussion point comes in.
Okay.
Is this clean home run hitting?
Well, the one thing that I have heard with Cal Raleigh is that, and we really didn't discuss it here, is that he uses a torpedo bat. So it's a bat that's within regulations, but with the way that it's shaped, the sweet spot of the barrel is more in the middle instead of it being standardized and spread out amongst the entire bat, the entire length of the bat.
Yep.
So his bat is shaped differently, although it is still within regulations. He is the only hitter that has used that bat since its deployment in the league the entire season.
So, because my discussion question on this was that I kind of came up with on this was, if he hits 3 more home runs, is he does he take over as the home run single season record? Your argument originally I thought was a good one, but we'll go back to this argument. By the way, Cal has only hit in only played in 157 games.
Okay, yeah, because he is a catcher, he has rest days every once in a while where he gets a breather.
Now, how about this one? Aaron Judge has only played in 150 games. Now, he would have to hit 11 home runs in the next 2 days for him for this whole argument to be a thing. But my argument was, if Cal hits 3 home runs, making him 63 home runs on the season, is he the new single season record holder? Because all the guys that we grew up watching, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds, all use substances that today are banned, and they would be essentially, they wouldn't be allowed to. They wouldn't be allowed to hit that many home runs this season if they were in it.
Yeah, my main argument out of it is, how many home runs did they have at the 156 mark? Because that's how many games that Maris and Mantle played when they broke Babe Ruth's record.
Yeah. Yep. So that's a decent argument. I can say that that's a decent argument.
Yeah, because if you want to come out and say, nope, Barry Bonds isn't home run king because he did it, he used some sort of bands, he used some sort of substance, if not steroids, something else.
I mean, there's a yeah, that man. Anyway, I do love Barry Bonds, by the way. I was a fan of his before he used the steroids. I can understand his anger that because he was doing things clean and doing it in a way that nobody else could. Like, and then you got Barry Bonds and Jose Canseco and Sammy Sosa all getting all this attention because they're hitting home runs, jacked up on substances that make them look like they're competing for Mr. Universe. Come out and you could make the argument there that, hey, guys, this is not cool. But yeah. Now,
yeah, I mean, but by all means, I think Raleigh will definitely go down as the all-time leader in home runs in a single season for a catcher.
Oh yeah,
not even Mike Piazza got up to this high.
No. Now the other thing, he's tickling. It didn't Junior miss? Didn't he pass Junior this year too?
Yeah, he did pass home runs in a single season history for the Mariners history.
Yeah,
passing Griffey.
Yeah. Now here's a different aspect to this. Batting average.
I was glad you brought up batting average.
What
would you have ever thought that 305 would ever be in the conversation of he's going to win the batting title? 305. That's the current leader in batting average for the National League.
Oh, for the National League, yeah.
In Trey Turner at 305. Yeah. In second place, our own Nico Horner
at 300.
300.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. How about the fact that less than the 7 guys, Nico Horner is the last guy above 300. There's only 7 guys above 300 in the in all of baseball.
I mean, the game has definitely changed with
330 is going to win the batting title.
Overall, the batting title goes to Aaron Judge
at 330.
No doubt, at 330.
Like,
I mean, that 330 used to be like the norm for getting you into the batting title. I would have never thought that
getting you in the discussion.
300 even be in the discussion.
Right.
But that just goes to show how much baseball has changed, even in the last 3 years, because it used to be when you were down 0-2, you got defensive with your swing.
How about this, Rich?
Swinging for the fences and trying shelling all out to hit the long ball.
I picked a random number, and I went to 2003. In 2003, the top 5 guys in batting average were 330 or above. $1975. I'm just picking random dates.
Okay.
1975. The batting title was a 359. The top 25 all had above 300 in 75.
And this year, there's only 7 players hitting above 300 as of today's recording. You might get 2 more guys squeak above 300 with Yandy Diaz and Bobby Witt Jr. and maybe even Vlad Guerrero Jr.
So I went back to 2003.
Okay.
How many guys do you think are 300 and above in 2003?
I'm going to go 25.
40.
Okay. You know, like for comparison, Mike, can you choose let's see, I think we started doing this. We did this during the COVID years. So that was 2020. We started this, what, in 19 or 2018, right?
We'll go with 18. I think 18.
Okay,
right.
18, I think, is when we started doing these.
Yeah, because it was February after I got married. It was the February after I got married, so it was 18.
Yeah. So, Mike, what was the batting title in when we first started doing this recording, and then how many players had at least above a 300 average?
Okay, so it you can see that the game was changing back then, but the batting title was still a respectable Mookie Betts at 346. It's a respectable batting title. It's not out of the ordinary. Guys over 300 is 16.
16 over 500, okay.
No, over 300. 16 over 300. 300 or above, I will say. 300 or above. By the way, Mookie Betts had a 1.07 OPS. That's crazy. In my opinion.
But yeah, I mean, before, I think if you had a guy hitting below 220, you were starting to scratch your head. I'm saying, well, what's this guy even doing in the starting lineup? And now this guy is in the MVP conversation when you have somebody like Kyle Schwarber. He's in the MVP conversation because he hits the ball a long ways and knocks in runs. It's an all or nothing approach, but yeah.
By the way, I'm gonna go back a couple more years.
Okay.
To the Cubs World Series win.
All right.
And at that win, it was exactly 25 guys had 300 or above. None of which were the Chicago Cubs. That's crazy. So yeah,
do you think eventually we will see a batting crown, a batting champion be under 300?
Yes, but there's a reason.
Okay.
And in fact, it leads us right into the other story that you have in here that I didn't put in. Automated balls and strikes challenge system. MLB is going to implement an automatic a challenge to allow the automatic balls and strike system to determine if a play was a strike or not, and it's going to be implemented by, from my understanding, the batter can't challenge. It has to be a defender.
No, hitters, pitchers, and catchers will be the only ones allowed to trigger the system by tapping their head. If a challenge is successful, the pitcher will be shown on in-stadium video boards.
Okay.
Teams will then retain it. You get 2. So it isn't 2 per batter, it's 2 per team. So, yeah, the shortstop standing out in his position thinking that, nope, that check swing, that's a strike, or that's a strike. He can't turn around, get the umpire's attention, tap his head to say, nope, review it. Only the pitcher, the catcher, or the hitter can do those. So they also can't come from the manager who could have
a couple extra
video
watches,
board people in his ear saying, challenge that. That was obviously a strike. It has to be the people on the field.
How long before a team has a signal? I'm not going to say banging on a trash can, but how long before the pitcher throws the ball and then immediately looks to his dugout to see his coach pulling on his ear? Because they know immediately. The robo ump knows immediately, and they get that pretty darn near immediately.
Yeah, it doesn't say how long you have to challenge it, to where you could, if it has to be right there, or if you lose the challenge once the pitcher has the ball and is getting the signals and is getting his automated pitch call through PitchCom in the thing. So I don't know if you could. I don't know if the catcher could turn around and, because the way I can see, you're describing it, the pitcher is they've tossed the ball back to the pitcher's gotten the ball back in his glove, and then he sees something. Yeah. Could the catcher delay throwing it back, looking over to the dugout to say, "Hey, let's challenge that"?
Right. I genuinely think we say that it's only those guys, but I mean, how, like, and I'm not talking. Let's say the A's. I don't think the A's are a cheating team. I mean, I think every team tries to get away with as much as they can. I'm not going to deny that side of it, but I don't have any reason to believe the A's are cheating in any blatant, overt way. But how long before the A's is Joe Madden still out there?
No, Joe Madden is not an active manager anymore.
Oh, good. But how long before the A's? I didn't want to badmouth Joe Madden because the man did great things for the Cubs. Anyway, but how long before the A's have a special signal that is the same as anything, where they whatever the signal is, tugs on there, I don't care, but that the pitcher looks immediately to the dugout and says, "That's a strike," and they're like. And he's like,
yeah.
To say that it's only these three guys, come on now.
I want to know that the thing that's got me thinking, obviously the umpires and the umpires union are against this because that's taken them a little bit out of the game.
And it completely changes one of the biggest rules ever in baseball. What's the quickest way to get ejected from a baseball game?
Arguing balls and strikes.
You can't argue balls and strikes. You can't do it. And now all I got to do is this. I'm not arguing. I'm challenging. So
2 times. So, yeah, that's my thing is, all right, let's say that you use it early in the game and you don't have any challenges left.
Yeah.
What's the fact that...
If I tap my head, do I get ejected immediately?
Yeah, what happens if you tap your head and you don't have any challenges left? Or... let's say it's a close call and your challenges are gone. What's the chance of the challenge going against you? Let's say it's Aaron Judge, one of the most, or Shohei Ohtani, 2 popular players. Early in the game, they used a challenge. The team is out of challenges. It's the top of the 8th, bases loaded, and it's a close call that gets called a strike, and it's a strikeout looking, and they don't have a close call. Could that have close call gone the other way if you hadn't called the umpire out to say, nope, challenge that. That was a ball. That was a ball. I want my base, or I want another ball.
Yeah, 100%. That's I don't like. I mean, I have a hard time with the robo ump anyway. But I think that the amount of ways around the rules of only certain people are allowed to challenge. That needs to get thrown out. That's not going to work. 2.
That was the system that they used in AAA.
This is the bigger thing and that's fine. But I'm just saying that it's not going to teams. I guarantee every team in the AAA has a signal for you need to challenge this call. Every team does. Now, the other thing is, which when reviews came into the league in baseball, the rule was you only got 2. Now you get 2 wrong, right?
Well, no, it's 2 challenges. So if you get it right, you keep your challenge.
Right.
I guess what I don't like is that in the extra innings, it says that the rules are saying that if the game goes into extra innings, you gain a challenge. And for each to where it's in the extra innings with this stupid ghost runner, even in the playoffs, you get a challenge. And if it goes to an 11th inning, you get a challenge.
Yeah.
So automatically in the 10th inning, you get a challenge whether you were successful in the
Yep.
during regulation or not.
No, I think that should be a change too. But either way, we'll see how this goes.
I think at this point, I'd rather see them go full robotic, and the umpire is required to, and the home plate umpire is only there for out safe calls at the plate, or to verify that, yep, you did get hit. I didn't think I got hit. All right, challenge it if you want your base that bad. I don't think you got hit. But the balls and strikes are coming from the ABS.
Yeah.
Rather than this challenge system. But I mean, I would think that I wonder if there probably isn't, but I wonder if you would have a tenured union umpire get demoted if he has X amount of successful challenges against him that get overturned, where his calls get overturned. Could he be demoted from being a home plate umpire?
I'll call him out. You mean if Joe West got...
if Joe West, or I think it was Angel Martinez, was another offender on balls and
Hernandez.
strikes.
It was Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, Angel Hernandez having his own system for balls and strikes, and him obviously going way out of bounds. And
his own system being whether or not I'm mad at you would get included into, like, and that's not even a joke.
So if they had if they looked at the data saying hey, you had so many strikes against you and 100% of them got overturned, you're no longer you're going to be taking a year off from behind the plate. You can still be an umpire because you're a tenured member of the union, but you're not going to be assigned behind the plate for.
I don't think so.
For the next year.
I don't think it'll happen. The unions own the leagues. As much as the owners own the leagues, the unions, especially the umpire unions, have. No, it won't happen. So, okay, Rich, we spent way more time on that than I thought we would. We're at 57 minutes.
Which is okay, because we weren't planning on doing power rankings today anyway.
So let's real quick do a recap in the NFL of our Week 3 predictions and how it went. So, Rich, with that, the Cowboys came into Chicago. We both picked the Bears. The Bears won. We're both 1-2 on the season.
Yep.
Locks of the weeks.
31-14. Good victory for the Bears. Loved it.
Yep, it was a great game to watch.
Week, Mike, you went with the Buccaneers over the Jets. The Buccaneers won 29-27, improving you to 3-0. I went with the Chiefs over the Jets, and the Chiefs also won 22-9, making me 3-0. Mike, how'd the upsets go?
I picked the Jaguars over the Texans. The Jaguars pulled it off 17-10, putting me at 2-1. Rich, you picked the Bengals over the Vikings. The Vikings destroyed the Bengals and drops you down to 0-3 on the season. Rich, Thursday Night Football, we saw Seattle versus the Cardinals. We both picked the Cardinals. Seattle pulled it off 23-20. Dropping me to 2-3 on the season, and you to 3-2. Rich, Week 4, Bears go to Vegas. Who do you think wins this game?
I think it turns into a neutral site game, if not a slight home field advantage for the visiting Chicago team. So even without that unofficial home field advantage, I'd have to go with the Bears.
Yeah, I agree. The Bears are going to win this one. The Raiders are not a great team, and the Bears are looking better. Rich, you have the honors.
All right, lock of the week. I'm going to go with the Commanders over the Falcons. The Falcons have been, when they've been winning games, it's been close games, or they've really been getting blown out. And with or without Jaden Daniels, I think Dan Quinn's Commanders can go into the ATL and get the win.
Yep. I like that pick. That would have been one pick that I would really have considered for locks of the week. This week, my lock of the week, though, is the Lions over the Browns.
Yeah, I don't blame you. The Browns got a good defense, but that offense, that offense is struggling.
So with that, we go to upsets of the week. Rich, where are you going?
I'm going to go with the New York Jets over the Miami Dolphins. One of these teams has got to win a game, and the Jets have been on the wrong end of some close games. So I think they finally break through and get Aaron Glenn his first win. I
could see that as a distinct possibility this week. I'm going to pick the Chiefs over the Ravens. The Chiefs have to get going, and this is one of those things. The Ravens also have something to play for, so it'll be a really good game to watch, but I think the Chiefs pull off the victory there. Week 5 for Thursday Night Football sees two California teams, California dreaming, as the 49ers and the Rams play in Inglewood.
I'm going to go with the 49ers. The Niners have looked good even without Brock Purdy under center. So I think they keep it going with Purdy under center, getting their starting quarterback.
You know, I don't mind that, but I actually think that the Rams win this game.
Okay.
Yep.
It's always better when we disagree and go with different teams on these picks as well.
Sometimes, yep. So, Rich, with that, let's go. Any shout-outs or quick hits that you need to do?
Two family members had birthdays in between the shows. They got a shout-out last week, but they'll get another one this week. My father-in-law, Ron, and my brother, Josh, both frequently vote on our poll question.
Yeah, thanks for participating, guys. We appreciate you guys, so happy birthday. Grandma. Grandma had her birthday last week. She turned 79 or 89. We'll talk about that afterwards. Anyway, I have to do a quick update for the esports team as we lost again. Which our team is. We graduated a lot last year, so it's rough. We're in a rebuilding. We get a guy back this week, so I think we'll do better in the next couple weeks. We had a really tough game against Esterville. They won state last year, so we'll see how it goes this year. With that, Rich, what's it time to do?
Mike, let's go ahead and roll the outro.